Fuel cheese is 600 per pound.
Moose cheese is 500.
Yeah.
Who's milking a moose? That's what I want to know. Hey guys. Welcome back to Industry Sunday.
Welcome back.
With your two hosts, just so you know. I'm not dead yet.
I almost fired him. It was real close.
Beyond contrary belief of me being in a dumpster, I am in fact alive. So, presenting yours truly, Jake Levan and
Kennedy Novi.
Here we are on episode 21.
21. You missed episode 20. I'm not going back to 20.
You know what's better than 21?
24.
22. Have you ever seen fucking SpongeBob?
It's 20. You know what's funnier than 24? 25.
Oh, yeah. I was like a PBS kid. We didn't pay for cable.
Broke bitch. I think SpongeBob was SpongeBob on Nickelodeon.
I watched the Boomafoo.
Oh shit! Yeah, me too. Me too.
Was Bear in the Big Blue House on there?
Oh, that was your time period. I thought that was like after your time.
Like older than me?
No, like younger kids watched it because my little brother watched that. I didn't watch that.
That shit was on forever. Power Rangers. I never liked that show.
Did you like Pokemon?
Fuck yeah! I watched Barney. I was a Barney kid, my mom told me. And Thomas the Train.
There's so many conspiracy theories about Barney.
Yeah, he's fucking creepy.
People like wanted to kill Barney. They're like, murder Barney. He's so annoying. There was a song they didn't like, I love you.
I know the song. You don't have to remember me. There's like a dark version of it on YouTube where it's like,
yeah, it's like backwards.
It's like
it says like, fuck you.
Yeah, no, anyways. So,
inverted. Just because you fell off the face of the earth for a week doesn't mean that Barney's introverted too.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, can you explain yourself quick?
Hi.
Well, you already told them with the story, but
in case everybody forgot,
give them the spark notes. Yeah.
Yeah, I know you heard it over the phone. Last week I had a beautiful trip to St. Louis, Missouri. Probably my all-time favorite city.
Top 10 in America now for you.
Yeah, number one in crime. I went there for a work trip. Perfect first day. Had a great day on the job. Was just doing my thing. And then I took myself out to a nice little dinner, just a little solo date, and I was heading back. And I got T-boned.
It's insane. It's crazy.
So from that point on, luckily I have a big car. So and the other car was small. So most of the damage didn't look nearly as bad as it probably should have been.
Yeah.
At least for my car, their car was like cross-eyed, like chameleon, like tires. But somehow she drove that motherfucker off later on.
She drove it home?
So, well, let me get there. So.
Oh, I forgot.
Anyways, we call whatever emergency services, EMT, fire truck show up. But no police. So here I am with like getting checked out by the EMTs for like some fucking mild concussion and whiplash. The other girls, right when the lights came up, she like pretended to pass out in the center console. It was really interesting. So I'm like,
what?
I'm like, you are definitely on something. And then she like said she like hit her head on the windshield and blah blah blah. But like before they got there, I was having like. I was like, are you guys okay? Like, everything's fine. Give me up. Like, perfectly normal conversation. But as soon as she saw lights, she just, like, hit the floor. Just like, I was like, oh, okay. I was like, hey, just so you know, the girl in the passenger seat was perfectly fine before you guys showed up in your flashing red lights. I don't know. You might want to check on her. Anyways, they, like, brought her into the fucking ambulance. She's in there for, like, 5 minutes. She comes out barefoot, and she's, like, just looks annoyed. And they're like, okay, she's like did like a no contest, like she's not like saying like anything, like I'm like she's fine basically. I was like, okay, and they're looking at me and I'm like, she don't seem fine, like who popped a Xanax? So anyways, we're sitting there, the EMT and the fire truck are sitting with me, and we're like waiting for the St. Louis Police Department, like PD, to show up. They never show up. It's been like 45 minutes. The firemen put in like an urgency thing for it. Like, hey, like, I'm like, I want to file my fucking police report so I can get some money. And then eventually they were like, yeah, well, we have other stuff to do. So we're going to leave. And I was like, okay, so what does that mean for me? Like, Like, well, you can stay here and wait, but there's like really no like guarantee that the cops are gonna show up. So I sat there.
Did you argue with them? Because you're kind of an arguer.
With the fire department?
Yeah.
No, why?
I don't know. You're kind of a Karen when things don't go your way.
No, I was like making jokes. I was like, so like, how do I get him here? Like, dumpster fire? They're like, no, then we'd have to show back up. I'm like, oh fuck. I'm like, what do I have to shoot someone? They're like, please don't do that. I'm like, oh yeah, emergency services would probably show up. Shit. So how do we get the police department here? They never showed up. I sat there for like almost 2 hours. Eventually, they also told me I wasn't like in a very safe neighborhood.
Oh, the firefighters did?
Yeah, where I pulled over. So they're like, you probably don't want to stay here like too long. So I was like, all right. So I was sitting on a bench in a park waiting. And these two girls are just sitting in their busted ass car. And eventually, like I asked for their insurance. It was some dude's name. So then I asked for her phone number. It was another girl's name that didn't match her license. So I was like, okay, I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to write this off at a loss. I'm like, anyways, I'm going to go home. My neck hurts. My head hurts. So we just squashed it at that. Anyways, it kind of ended my work trip, but I had to still get my car back to Chicago from St. Louis. So I am making my commute back. I make it about an hour out of St. Louis, heading north with my door not all the way on, so it was making like a really loud whistling noise.
Was this before or after you sent me the audio message of your trip?
This is like the same time.
So this happened, what do you mean?
I think this happened right after I sent you the audio message.
Oh my God.
So then I'm driving along.
You didn't mention this in the audio message.
I'm driving along, and both of my tires on the other side of where I got hit went flat. I am fucking...
What did you run over? Both
absolutely nothing.
Both of them at the same time?
Both of them at the same time.
How?
And I was like looking, I'm like, oh, it's probably fine. And as I'm watching, like my tire pressure gauge just like go from like 40, 30, 20... 10.
One of them was at 0.
Yeah, I know. I was like, all right.
We should post your videos on the podcast page.
I had the worst headache still because fucking my head hurt from slamming up against the window. And I pull over the side of the road and I'm like, what the fuck do I do? I'm like, I just want to go home and lay in my bed. So I call AAA. They like take my car to this rickety ass small town. They're like, yeah, somebody's probably got tires or something here. I get there. They do not have any tires my size. Absolutely nothing. I'm like, well, can you patch it or do something? He's like, no. So then they like drag my car over to another location. They wouldn't do it either. So then they're like, well, we can try Walmart. And I'm like, okay. I haven't been to a Walmart in like 7 years. So we pull up to this Walmart and they're all looking at me. They're like, my hair's all fucked up. Like I look like a wackadoodle. A fucking wackadoodle. I'm like,
I love when you FaceTime me when you used to be hungover all the time and you.
I wasn't even hungover. I was just fucking hurting.
Yeah, no, but like in the past, but you'd FaceTime me and you would like your face would come on the screen and your hair is just flipped up like in something about Mary.
Cockatoo.
So that's what I'm picturing.
And well, yeah, because I was just going to drive home. I had no plans. I was just going to drop my car off to get fixed or whatever. I didn't know what the hell was going on. These 3 dudes come out. None of them have majority of their teeth.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, this can go one of 2 ways. They're like looking at my car. We haven't seen one of these before. Blah, blah. I'm like, oh, here we go. I'm like, yeah, I'm from Chicago. And then I'm like, and the thing is they can only see like the good side. I'm like, wait till you see the other side of the car. Then they like walk around. They're like, oh shit. And I'm like, yeah. So, there's a lot that needs to be done right now, but all I need is my tires to make it back home. I don't know what it requires you to do, but please do it because I don't want to be here any longer.
They were completely like punctured. They couldn't just refill them.
They ended up like patching them and they got them. Like they were good enough to get home, but it took like another hour and a half, like 2 hours. So I'm sitting there and it's like in the tire service area. So it's like in the back and it's got the most interesting workers. And this man, I don't know, he was like 4'8", was sitting here trying to spark a conversation with me, and I did not take my
4'8".
I didn't even put. I was sitting inside with my legs crossed, fucking sunglasses on, my hood up, like do not speak to me. He's coming over here, oh, like just chipper as fuck. Like it was fucking church service on a Sunday, and I was, like walking down the aisle, and I was like, no, let's not do this. No social cues. Did not understand a single thing of me being uninterested. Just kind of kept talking.
Yeah.
For the whole time. So eventually, I decided to like start making phone calls.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm sorry, I have work calls to make or something. I was like, leave me alone. Like, what do you have to tell me about his weekend? Like, he has like 3 days off, like, blah, blah. I'm like, I don't care.
You're like, cool, bro.
I never asked. I'm like, not even responding. You're talking to yourself right now. Like, some of the people in like my DMs on Instagram, like, that just keep their own conversation going. I'm like, you are that person right now, but in real life, like face to face. Like,
yeah.
Delulu. Like, are you okay?
Delulu.
Like,
Jason Delulu.
Yeah, I'm like, are you delusional? Like, what's going on, sis? Anyways, finally get home.
Just being a nice guy, but you just,
clearly I was not in the mood.
People just can't take the social cue where you're like, I don't want to talk.
I
Like
was
an
like-
Uber driver that talks to you and you're like, I don't want to.
I was like, if I could lay underneath my car right now, I would, but the tires are flat, so I probably wouldn't even do anything. Just roll over my fat ass.
It would just be a puncture wound.
Yeah, I'd be like, oh, now I just got a broken leg. So then my 4-hour trip turned into like 10 hours. I finally get home. Whatever. I make the most of it. I kind of have a decent night. I wake up the next day with the most debilitating stomach flu or food poisoning I've ever had in my entire life. For 48 hours, I literally couldn't drop my car off, couldn't do anything. Yeah, and then Monday came around and I was fine. I just took my car in yesterday. I am driving around in an Uber Black.
Yep, pick me up in
a
it.
little black Lincoln for right now, and my car may or may not be totaled. It depends on what my insurance says because the estimate was fairly high. But we'll see. If not, I hope it's a nice check. And we go from there. But yeah, that's going to be like 2 or 3 weeks. Yeah, I would say I had like a really underwhelming week. Like not much happened.
I literally texted Jake a couple days ago. I'm like, we should probably schedule our recording earlier this week because I don't want you to break both your legs in some freak accident this week or, just like the way his luck has been going. So
terrible.
Yeah, I almost like half of me expected like something to go wrong today and like us not to be able to record. And I'm like, okay, well, round 2, me by myself. But no, I feel like, yeah, you definitely had a very eventful weekend. And everybody already knows what I did because I talked about it on the last episode, but I was in Springfield, Illinois for that wedding. After we recorded that podcast on Friday night and uploaded it on Sunday.
Like, Springfield, Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
I was like,
there's actually like 16 different Springfields in America, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, now I was going to say, isn't there like a movie called Springfield, but it's
Mason Ramsey's from Springfield, Illinois, I'm pretty sure. He's releasing a new song. He's back.
There was like a whole controversy that he like shot someone.
What the fuck? Really?
It ended up not being true. But
well, yeah, I was like, he's like 16.
I know. It was like he was in like federal prison or something. I was just reading about it.
Oh my God.
I was like, really? I'm like, I would have never thought. Speaking of Walmart.
Yeah, Jesus. No, so I guess, I haven't really talked about what I did Friday night after that. I did not go back to the Hooters.
I went to a Hooters as well.
Yeah, Friday night. I got the crab
I was
legs.
at a Hooters on Wednesday.
I got the crab legs. It was $19. They were on sale on Friday night.
I hadn't been to a Hooters since I was 19.
Yeah. Well, I talked to one of my managers where I work today, and I told him that I went to Hooters and got the $19 crab legs, and he was like, "Wait, did you go on a Monday or a Sunday?" I was like, "No." He's like, "Okay, good," because that's when they like things are starting to go bad because they don't have a food order coming in. And I was like, "Oh shit!"
That's where I got my food poisoning.
Hooters? I don't know. But I went, so I got the crab legs on a Friday, $19 for a pound. Isn't that so cheap? And they were so good.
Honey, that can't be crab legs. I don't know what they're feeding you.
It was literally, I broke it. I had a crab cracker. I was cracking them all.
Snow crab legs?
Snow crab legs, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's reasonable. You can get those at like a Chinese buffet.
Well, I would not get those there.
But you would get them at Hooters?
Yeah.
Okay, choices.
But they were so good. They were so fucking good. And it was Friday, so I know they were fresh because they're not going to have old crab legs on a Friday night.
Yeah, no. I look like such a loser. I don't know why I went to a Hooters. I was still kind of out of it. It was close to my house.
Yeah, I felt bad because we were 3 girls and then 1 guy. And I'm like, I wonder if these servers like fucking hate us right now. Like, I wonder if they prefer to have all tables of men, because I feel like I bet women are in there judging the hell out of them all the time.
I mean, I still tipped her nice.
Yeah, we were really nice to our server. And at first she wasn't very nice, and then she warmed up to us. So.
Like, I'm not here to sexually assault you. Trust me.
No,
Trust
yeah,
me.
I just I was curious.
I'm like, put your fucking clothes on. I don't give a shit. I don't give a fuck. You could be wearing a fucking what like a milkmaid costume.
Yeah, like your mom in the 80s. Yeah. Oops.
But yeah, so what are we jumping into today?
I had one.
Or do you want me to go first?
No, I'll go first. I have my current event. It's from a social media post that I saw. I'm in a Facebook group for Chicago industry members, and I love reading through all this stuff. Someone posted in there another Facebook post from like somebody's like private Facebook account, so I'm not going to quote my source. It's not a private account; it's a public account. But it was like a person posted this, and then this post got blown up in a bunch of industry groups, and then everyone went and commented on her page, and they were like, "What? Like
negative things?
Negative things."
Great,
yeah.
I love this.
Yeah, she got roasted, and she thought she was roasting this bartender, and then she got roasted by all the bartenders in the city of Chicago.
Yeah, I mean, there's like 35,000 people in that group. I think maybe
there's so many. No, it's like
more.
I think 100,000. I think it's more.
I mean, I've been in it for like 6 years.
Oh, you're so cool.
40,000 40,700 members.
Concussion is still concussioning.
It is.
Okay, so the Facebook post that went viral, it was a woman who posted a video of a bartender at a certain arcade bar in Chicago. And the bartender was inputting the credit card tips at the end of the night. You know how like you get like you put all your receipts in like a cup, and then you go at the end of the night and you put all your tips in at the same time. Because it's just faster. Like, why would you in the middle of bartending stop and put tips in? No. It just is, it makes more sense.
Stuck together and wet. And I'm like,
oh my God, yeah, it's the worst. I hate it. And then you like can't read one. You're like,
I know.
fuck.
I'm like,
there's like cranberry juice on half of them.
I know. I'm like, that looks just about right.
But she was putting them in like every bartender does, the normal way at the end of the night. This woman took a video of her, and she's clearly never worked in a restaurant or a bar, because her comments or her like sentence regarding the video was, "Only pay with cash here," and she named the bar. "I watched this bartender add a tip to every card at the end of the night."
Be so fucking for video right now.
And some people commented like, "Yeah, this is why I only pay with cash at restaurants," or like they were saying like, "Yeah, like that's why I don't tip well," or like just like bullshit. And then all of a sudden every bartender in Chicago is commenting and being like, "You're a fucking idiot. Like, do you think that like it magically appears in the computer when you write it down with a pen?"
Yeah, I'm
like,
sorry.
How do you think we put that
fucking
in?
Telekinesis, you weird fuck.
No, so it was just so funny. And then, so her comments it was hundreds of comments on this random woman's Facebook post. Like, she has like 300 friends. And there's hundreds and thousands of, what?
She kept it up?
Yeah, she kept it still up.
What a fucking, what a savage.
I don't know what you could even search to find it. But.
Should we all report her?
I bet they have. I'm like, I give her 1 star on Google reviews. They're like, why does this random person have a Google review? No, but, yeah, and then so the bartenders were basically calling her stupid, explaining to her how, tips are inputted at the end of the night and blah, blah, blah. And she's trying to defend herself and saying, like, I just didn't like how she was putting a tip on every single credit card. Like, there's no way every single credit card tipped or whatever.
Even if it's a 0, you sometimes
still have to put it in. Yeah. Well, you still have to close it out.
Yeah, you have to close it out. What the fuck?
So it's not like she's typing in tips for everything. It's like she's just watched her clicks and buttons, and like she's looking at receipts. So she also was saying, she's like, my sister came here last week and used the card, and she tipped them 20%, and they added an extra $30 tip on or something. Just making shit up, basically. Like, I'm sure that like her tab was bigger than she thought it was or whatever, or she's fucking lying. But she's like, that's why I was suspicious.
She left her card and they auto-graded her ass.
Yeah, maybe that could easily be it.
Oops.
Yeah, who knows?
90%.
Or her sister tipped $0, and then they just automatically put in a tip because it's like, fuck you. Some bartenders will do that.
Yeah, I mean,
and they'll just risk it.
But...
It's not right. No, I would never do that. But Some people do that because there's so many places you can work as a server and they don't really care, or a bartender, and they're like, whatever.
God, I wish I could.
It's definitely something people do. So who knows? But yeah, that's my current event. And then
what?
Yeah, do you want to talk about your story? I made Jake do some work again today since he missed last week. And he found another conspiracy theory.
Mine is, I don't know why I got so excited. Mine has to do with the cartel and the invention of fondue.
I thought it was Swiss cheese.
Swiss cheese cartel.
Wait, what?
It's the Swiss cheese cartel.
I'm so confused.
You will be.
It's only going to get worse.
But it's true. In the late 1800s. So this
What? He just starts reading. Set the scene. Get out a candle.
Yeah, literally. It's the late 1800s.
Yeah, give me a voice. Yeah.
A group of Swiss cheese makers banded together to form a cartel.
What the fuck?
Mm-hmm. So their goal.
Can I join?
I don't really like Swiss cheese.
I used to hate it. I like it now.
Bland.
I think it's got a little bit of a sourness to it.
Well, okay. Whiteness is showing. Ketchup is spicy. Their goal was to stabilize the price of cheese and protect their profits. So one of these ways that
stabilize
they did
the price of cheese.
Yeah. So one of the ways that they did this was promoting the use of fondue. So obviously, we know fondue is a dish made with melted cheese, and then it's paired with like bread or wine or whatever. And it was traditionally eaten in just the winter month. When cheese was in high demand.
Wait, is fondue usually Swiss cheese melted?
I don't know a fucking clue.
Then what does the Swiss cheese cartel have to do with fondue?
They're just cheese people.
Okay, all right. I'm sorry for interrupting.
Stop reading into it so much. So the cartel members believed that if they could make fondue popular, people would buy more cheese year round. And they were right. So fondue became a hit both in Switzerland and abroad. So I think it's
it's Switzerland,
like
Swiss.
Switzerland cheese.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I don't fucking know.
Switzerland cheese.
So yeah, because of this, it's actually why it's such a popular dish today. It wasn't really a big thing before that. So the event was masterminded by an organization known as the Swiss Cheese Makers Association, otherwise known as the Swiss Cheese Cartel. The Swiss economy was essentially ruled by the cheese cartel until actually just recently.
Well, it's funny because there's like an avocado cartel, I think, in Mexico too.
Really?
It's like a lot of cartels, like they also like run a lot of farms or like food producing things.
Yeah, these people are pumping. So according to some guy named Robert Smith, the world was convinced by a cheese cartel to consume large pots of melted fat. So this guy's
butter.
His name is Sepp Barmettler. He was a cheese rebel. He became interested in making a cheese called Springs, which is similar to Parmesan. Are you okay? Sepp describes how in the old days, any commercial activity required the approval of the cheese union or the cheese cartel.
This is so bizarre. This is in the 1800s?
Yeah, so he would quietly sell his cheeses under the table.
I guess cheese was probably a crazy invention in the 1800s.
Yeah.
They're probably like, what the fuck is this?
Cheeses, like apparently the Swiss cheese or the cheese thing has been around since like the 800s.
There's still a cheese cartel right now.
But
you got a death wish
up
for
until
us.
just recently.
Oh, they ended? So keep going.
Chief Cartel reached a peak at this time. The Swiss Cheese Union came to an end by the end of the early 1990s. So it was only like 30 years ago. The cheese rebel and his friends could now make and sell whatever they desired. And it is still a policy today to continue to eat fondue.
Interesting.
So until the Second World War, fondue was actually extremely uncommon in Switzerland. But the Swiss Cheese Union or cartel ran a marketing campaign to market the cheese specialty as the national dish. They even like marketed like the pots, like low price pots and high price pots. They both perform the same, but they would like scam people with like more expensive ones because they said it would like melt the cheese better or whatever. But yeah, so actually no, it was the first fondue recipes are thought to have been written in France and Belgium in the 18th century, but call for Gruyere cheese.
Wow.
So yeah, so basically, Cartel has power even when it comes to cheese. Apparently, cheese is like a really big like in Europe. I feel like cheese is like it's like a big deal. Like
It is.
the companies that like make cheese and stuff, like they're about it. They're there to make $1.
I'm sure they do. It's like a delicacy.
Yeah, I guess.
Charcuterie.
Just fucking.
There's some cheese that's really expensive. What's the most expensive cheese you think?
I know Parmigiano Reggiano, like the actual, is extremely expensive. It's probably one of the most expensive, like modern day cheeses, I think. But I'm sure there's some like really
Pule cheese is the most expensive cheese in the world because it is produced exclusively at Serbia's Zasavica Special Nature Reserve. This rare cheese is made from the milk of Balkan donkeys, which are endangered and native to Serbia and Montenegro.
Wow.
How much is it? Pule.
Most expensive.
Bitto cheese, $150 per pound. White Farms cheddar, $200 per pound. White Stilton gold cheese,
$600 a pound.
$420.
This shit better fucking.
Moose cheese, $500 per pound. They have moose cheese.
I would like to try moose cheese.
Oh yeah, Pule cheese is $600 per pound.
Moose cheese is $500.
Yeah.
Who's milking a moose? That's what I want to know.
Oh my god.
Have you ever fucking seen a moose?
Wait,
They're big.
there's a cheese etiquette. Not everyone is aware of food etiquette revolving around cheese. Knowing the rules and guidelines for eating cheese can improve your overall cheese dining experience.
Deep throat it.
Below are a couple of cheese rules to follow. Serve the right amount of cheese. Properly order your cheese. Cheese should be ordered from mildest to strongest. If a guest eats the strongest cheese first, then they will not be able to properly savor the cheeses that are more mild in taste.
Okay, when you put me in front of a charcuterie board, I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm just eating it.
To properly put together your cheese boards, it's recommended to talk to your local cheesemonger. Like, what the fuck is this? This is an actual website called Restaurantware. I think it's a company.
Okay, well, I don't make that kind of money, so I don't come from that kind of money.
There's like natural cheese. There's processed cheese. It's like wine. That's
yeah, it is. It is very. I feel like the background of cheese and like its history is very similar to wine. Maybe that's why they go well together. Cheese and wine and beer or whatever, bread, not beer. Say both have yeast, but two very different things.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that is my
cheese story.
My short. There's plenty more information if you really want to learn about everything about fondue. But well, I don't think everybody wants to learn that much about fondue. It's literally just cheese.
Yeah, I mean the cheese thing that we already discussed was interesting enough for me about cheese. I'm done with cheese for now. I think we have to name this story something with cheese.
Cut the cheese.
No, but the main topic I wanted to kind of discuss a little bit today that I didn't really like do any research on. I just kind of was thinking about the other day. Especially considering the last episode where I talked with, my old coworkers from my college job. We hung out at that bar all the time. Like all the time.
What bar?
The bar I used to work at in college. So
we know.
Yeah, well, everybody did it. It wasn't just me, but if you were off work, you'd go in and hang out there. You do your homework there. You do everything there. So I was wondering, like, is that a common thing, do you think, where people, like, enjoy visiting the place that they work at as a patron?
No, I hated going.
Yeah.
I never went. I came into work, I worked, and I left. You never saw me again.
Yeah.
Ever.
I wonder, like, why it's, because I know there are some places, especially in Chicago, I think it just depends on, like, what the bar or restaurant is like. Like if it's a fancier bar or restaurant, I feel like people don't hang out there when they're not working. Because you can't, first of all, you can't afford it. Second of all, you don't get really any hookups.
Some people are like all about that, like an after shift drink and like being at their work and stuff, sitting at the bar.
I used to be. I'm not anymore.
I'm like 1 foot out the door before my last table leaves. I'm like, hey, see ya. I'll see you guys tomorrow for my shift. Like, I don't want anything.
As a server, like, I would have probably really enjoyed that. Just like sitting in the back or like, just like hanging out with people after work and then going out to a bar or something to hang out. But now that I'm in more of a manager position, it's like, I want to get the fuck away. Like, I don't want to be there. And I mean, there are some instances where I'll go in on the weekends or I'll go in, and like take clients there or take like friends or family there. But I feel like it's pretty rare now. But I wanted to know so, I mean, obviously if you work at a dive bar or like a sports bar or something where it's more of like a family atmosphere and people, like you don't make as much money as when you're serving in like a fancy restaurant, but it's more like volume based.
Yeah.
Like I think that like a place like that, you benefit more from being a patron there when you know all the staff because they're excited to see you. They're like, okay, cool. Like we can like talk to this person if we're getting sick of other guests,
I don't like it.
So yeah, I mean,
just a sidebar off of that.
Maybe it's just the type of person too.
A thing that bothers me, I don't know why it bothers me, but people that like work at the restaurant and then go on a first date at their restaurant.
I would never do that.
So fucking annoying.
Remember Kyle's episode when he talked about going to one of the restaurants in his restaurant group on a date and like he said, I'll never do that again.
Terrible idea. Don't ever do it.
Yeah. He's like, I'll never do that again. But it's like also cool. Like I feel like some people, I wouldn't go to the restaurant you work at. I understand the concept
in
of
the group, sure.
Yeah, but especially if it's a first date and you're paying for it, maybe like taking them to a restaurant where you get half off is like not a bad idea. But
it's so overwhelming for the other person. You have all these people walking up, like saying hi, blah blah, and you're like, I just
awkward.
Met this person. I don't even know their last name yet. So, okay, so like
it's one thing to do. I would not do that like when you first meet someone, but maybe like at like the third bar in, if you're on a date where you're just like wandering around, you can go to your favorite local bar or like go to the bar you work at.
Doing it like months into a relationship because I'm like, I still don't really want.
Remember the time you went on a date in my restaurant and all hell broke loose?
Sure did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Flipping tables like Teresa Guidici.
I wasn't. I was very calm for once.
Yeah, you just sat there and stared.
I was like, you're embarrassing.
Yeah.
I didn't really
Well,
know.
if your date wasn't there, I bet you would have gotten just as rowdy. So
I know.
I beg to differ.
I was being such a lady.
I'm so nice.
Picture me. Yeah, and who would have thought we ended up dating after that?
Yeah, fuck that. R.I.P.
Oh my God, Kennedy. You can't say that.
I can say that.
Okay.
He gone. Okay, and I don't know. I guess that's all I want to talk about. You didn't really have much to say to it except for fuck no. So I guess it's the end of that conversation.
I mean, I get it. I get the like people's like family atmosphere, but I also like I don't like spending that much time with anybody. Like I already work like full time with you people. I love you, and like I enjoy my time working with you, but I also like, so like a lot of people in the service industry, like that's like who they hang out with, like that's their friend groups. I had a lot of friend groups that like also weren't in the restaurant industry, so I had other people to go see, or like I just wanted to be alone. Like I was just tired.
I feel like when you were with your restaurant group before the most recent one you worked for, we went out to a lot of different venues of theirs, but they have a ton of venues.
There's like
there's so many that
70 or something ridiculous.
Yeah. So I feel like that's a different scenario, but I feel like if it's like a one pop shop, they only own one place, and like that's all the only place you can go, like different,
Like I love everybody, but I also just like, I don't know if I'm going out to dinner, I'm not. I kind of just like to focus on my dinner. I'm not somebody that like needs a bunch of attention.
Yeah, I think it's a case by case scenario.
Yeah,
like if you're the kind of place where, I mean, you could also get really burnt out if you're going into your workplace too often when you're not working. It's like spend some time away from it because otherwise you're gonna burn out even if you're not working all the time.
Yeah.
That's happened to me before where I'm like, I need like a break from everything related to the restaurants I work for because like that's all I've been doing for 7 days in a row. So like it's done.
Yeah.
It's back when I had 2 jobs, but I feel like for me, I've grown out of it. I'm not going to be the person that sits at the bar I work at for a long time anymore. But the one thing I will do is bring like family to eat there when they're in town.
Oh yeah, if it's family, it's different because then they
want to see.
love seeing all that kind of stuff. Like,
yeah, and they love seeing people come up to you and know you. Like as a parent, they're like, "Oh my God, it's so cool! You know everyone." It's like, "Mom, I work
my
here."
My child isn't a reject. I am, but
she's a social butterfly.
Yeah, I'm like, this is all I have. Just kidding.
Okay, well, I guess that brings us to our game of the day. Yes, I wrote a game. Just because I feel like every time I don't have a game, I get the 3rd degree. So I think that's my thing now. I have to have a game every day.
Well, you love a game. Everybody knows you love a game. Like,
Jake, get off your phone.
I was playing a game.
He's playing Candy Crush. Okay. The game is called Grounds for Firing. Dun, dun, dun. Would you want... So this is coming from the coworker's perspective.
Am I firing people?
Nope.
Damn.
You're the coworker of the person that would be getting fired or not.
Okay.
I think it's an interesting take.
Okay.
Honestly. Because everything... I feel like being the person firing, it's an easy answer. But if you're the coworker...
Fired.
All of them.
No, I wouldn't.
Okay, Donald Trump.
Just oh my goodness.
You're fired. That's his catchphrase.
Is it really?
Yeah, from his Apprentice show.
Oh yeah. Well.
Okay. There's 3 options for you.
Okay.
To say basically, like the first one is it really that bad?
Oh, the gaslighting.
Yeah. Like, does it hinder you? Like, you want them fired, or would it benefit you to keep them around as a coworker? So it's like, it's like I don't know. Yes, fire. No, don't fire because it will benefit me.
Okay, I'm listening.
Okay, the first one. They break a lot of dishes or glassware.
Sometimes it's fun to break something.
No, but you're not breaking them. They are.
Do I have to clean up after them?
Probably. Or like, I mean, what if they bump into you and you dump your tray? Like they're just clumsy.
No, I wouldn't fire. I would keep them around.
No, you're not firing. You're the coworker.
Oh,
would you want them fired or no?
No, I'd be okay with it. It keeps it entertaining.
So that one's a maybe. That's like I don't know.
No, I would keep them around.
Yeah, but like not like
because if it's not me they're running into somebody else, it's fucking hilarious.
Okay, so it benefits you. Yeah, it's funny. Okay,
funny.
I'm like spit it out. The next one is being too slow.
Fired. Get the fuck out of my fucking way.
It really annoys me too.
Get out. Let's see it. Like
when you're walking behind him and you're like,
I will literally like be like, excused, or like put a hand on the back, like move it along, like we have to go.
Or I'm the kind of person when I'm doing like side work at the end of the night, I want to get home. I want to leave. Done. I'm polishing glasses so fast. I'm polishing silverware. I'm rolling up my roll ups. I'm like moving. I'm moving. Just move, and some people are just like taking their time.
Some people move so slow at the end of the night because they just don't want to do any of the work, and that pisses. Like, I'm like, you're more okay sitting here for an extra hour, not doing what you're supposed to be doing, instead of just leaving and actually just doing your job because you're too lazy to do it. That you stick around for longer, milk the fucking clock, as far as I'm concerned, and waste everybody's time.
That's the one thing I like about bartending versus serving is that when you're bartending, I feel like and you're closing a bar with a bunch of other bartenders, you all have that desire to get it done and leave.
Well, yeah, because like
bartenders are speed.
5 a.m.
Yes, and bartenders are like faster.
They're fast.
Servers are more like you have to really start taking your time because you have the whole process of the service and everything. Bartenders have a more expedited version of that.
Like, we're closed, we're done. Boop.
Yeah, and I just remember like putting on music and just like hustling to clean everything up and close down.
Get the fuck out of there because you don't want to be sitting there by yourself.
No, it's awful. I don't know.
Like having people there, like when you're the closer and like you look over and you're like, what the fuck are you still doing here? You were the first cut. Go home. You were cut like 3 hours ago. What are you doing? Fucking licking the glass?
No.
Like a loser?
I know a lot of people I've worked with that are like that. Like, it's like they were cut 2 hours ago. You're like, why are you still here? If I was cut 2 hours ago, I would have been gone in 30 minutes.
You're not eating anything. You're not drinking anything. You're just like wandering around aimlessly, like fucking.
Well, some people are waiting for everyone else to see if they're going to go out.
Ice Age.
They might be waiting to see if people go out.
Well, go.
Or they're just
meet up with them.
Or they don't want to go home.
I don't know. I work fair. Now I feel bad. I mean, if you're in a dangerous relationship or something,
I don't think that's what I was saying. I was just like, maybe they have a sad
for
home
yourself
life.
To go home. That's different. But
they don't have an AC like me right now.
Or like, just get out of
I'd put a fan in my window.
Vision of sight. If I'm working and you're just like in the way, I don't. Yeah, no, fired. Anyways, gone.
The next one, they show up late a lot, all the time.
Show up late and work well and make up for their time being late.
I don't mind people being late.
Oh, Kennedy, I think you just dropped our stuff.
Okay, I'm gonna leave it down there.
Yeah, let's not touch anything. I think that was enough touching stuff. Thank you.
He's like fired. No, I don't. It doesn't bother me unless it starts to affect me.
I don't really. Yeah, I don't really. Give
if I'm opening the restaurant by myself because you're late all the time, like that's a problem. But
no, because then I'll just start showing up late with you, sis. I don't give a fuck.
But if you show up like 10, 15 minutes late and you hustle right away, or you bring me a coffee, I'm okay with it.
I don't really care. As long, like, if it doesn't affect me directly, I'm always somebody that like vouches for somebody if they're late. Like if somebody's running late and they text me, I'd be like, I'll clock you in. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, I was usually the one that was running late though. That was the thing. But when I got there, it was like head down, and like like everything that I needed to get done was always done on time. So it didn't really hinder or bother anybody, and people had my back and I had their back. But like if somebody is late and they show up and you're like setting up the dining room floor or something, and they're just not even in their outfit, not fucking doing anything, that's when I get pissed off.
Yeah.
So I'm like, who the fuck do you? I'm like, I'll stop working too, sis. I'll take a seat. We can all sit here.
Yeah.
We could all not work today.
Oh my God.
You know, that's my biggest thing. Like, if you don't want to work, take the fucking day off.
That's very true.
I'll work for you.
That's very true. I agree with that completely. Okay. The next one is drugs. They always smell like weed, or they're always red-eyed. I don't care. Well, I mean, like, I'm like, don't run my drinks to my table. I don't want them to smell you. But
I mean, I worked with some people that, you know, did a lot of cocaine and stuff on those ships, and I didn't care.
I'm okay with that, because then they're working real hard.
Speedy. I'm like, all right, you want to run my drinks? Sure, go ahead, have fun. Go talk to my table for 20 minutes and suck. But like, you know, if they're, I think that's fine. My biggest problem is like, if I get stuck with like a serving assistant or someone that like was like really hung over, or like something like that, and like they just wouldn't work. That was more so my issue. Like, I'm like, if you're like under the influence and you can work, I really couldn't care less. Mm-hmm. Have fun. Just take a shot.
It's true.
Take two. If it makes you work better.
Yeah.
Yeah, if that's what you gotta do to get through a shift and you know, stay happy and be on top of your stuff, you know, and drop something once in a while, sure, go ahead.
Okay with it, yeah.
I'm fine with it. I think you gotta work with you.
I mean, as long as it's not like completely obvious where it's embarrassing, or
like,
it's like,
I don't want my table's questioning it, but like,
I'm like, if you want to take an edible before work, be my guest. I just don't want to, like, the smell thing is the only thing that bothers me.
Most of the people I worked with like were hitting their weed pens all the time. Nobody.
Oh yeah, I've seen that too, everywhere.
I'm like, cool.
I'm like, I don't know how you do that. I could never.
I could never. I'd be fucking,
I would just go to my table and stare at them.
I'd be laying in the booth, like rubbing up on someone's chest.
Yeah, you
like,
sit down for dinner with them.
I'm like, that looks really good. Do you mind if I have a bite? Let me go grab a fork.
Have you seen the video that went viral of that server who walked by her table at Applebee's and like took one of their toasted raviolis sneakily and like walked away? Someone was like filming someone at their table, like playing with their drink.
Put the ravioli in her hand.
Yeah, so someone was filming something on the table. I think the person across from them was like adding something extra to their drink or something weird. They were just doing something that they were filming, and the server walks up and didn't see them filming, and you could see her like, she moved a cup on the table, trying to like look like she was busy like doing something on the table, and then she like slid her hand over and she just like scooped up a toasted ravioli and like hid it in her hand and like walked away, and then the person like flips the camera up. He's like, what the fuck? Like,
I'd let her have it.
Yeah,
I'm
no.
like, girl, you starving? You want me to get you something?
It's like, you couldn't have taken that off before you brought it to me, though?
Like, become friends with the fucking fry cook and get some free fries, bitch.
Yeah, seriously.
Eat something.
No, I've known some servers that like ask for free food so much that like the chefs start complaining. They're like, why do you want ice cream right now?
Like, you better be like you better be flirting it up with these people if you want free food all the time.
Fries are different. Fries, I feel like
I would just order myself stuff and have it comped.
Yeah.
I'd be like, my table don't like it. I thought it was gross. And they're like, what? Where is it? I'm like, I already threw it away.
I already dealt with it.
I'm sorry, I won't throw it away next
I didn't
time.
want to bother you.
Yeah, I was like, you were busy. I was like, I had too much going on.
Oh my God.
I was like, I'll leave it on the back line next time. I never did.
Help me.
I was hungry, bitch. Nobody gave me food.
The last one is theft, if they steal things from the restaurant.
Bye. Well, depends. Because I worked with...
I feel like it's... Or like they're rude to customers too. That's like kind of goes hand in hand.
If they're rude with customers, they gotta go, because I can't. I'm not gonna tolerate that unless it's
watch
deserved.
that. But you're not a manager. You're a coworker.
I don't want to work with you. Unless you,
They're probably rude to you too if they're rude to
they're an
customers.
asshole. Well, it depends. If it's deserved and I'm sitting back watching you bitch somebody out, I'm like, yes. You know,
I think it's kind of entertaining sometimes when somebody's that terrible at their job that they're just like rude to everyone. It's like, why are you still here?
and people get away with it.
Yeah, definitely.
Stealing kind of got annoying because I worked at a place with people where I feel like so many staff were stealing like the silverware that we didn't have enough.
Wait, why were they stealing silverware?
I don't know, they would just take it home.
I guess I do have 2 forks from the restaurant I used to work at home.
No,
I
you
know.
would, like, have
but
a-
I mean, I would have it in my to-go box.
Like
for
their
my
entire
food at the end of the night.
cutlery set was from
That's
our fucking
so
restaurant.
weird.
And I'm like, bro, we don't have enough spoons. I don't know spoons to put on the table for my fucking desserts, dude. Stop taking them home. I'm like, I'm going to the fucking. We had
Or
to
wine glasses. Did you always run out of wine glasses
Always.
too? We never had enough.
Never had enough.
They bought like the titanium steel like stem ones, so where it's like the steel is like morphed into the glass, so you can't even see that it's metal, and like the stems never broke, but the like the actual round part of the cup broke all the time. So it's like, what's the point of having titanium stem if the glass is shitty at the
Speaking of
top?
the silverware problem, it got so bad that a girl actually went to like Goodwill or Salvation Army and went and bought like a bunch of spoons for the restaurant. They were all like mixed matched and like wow.
That's hilarious.
But I mean, like, we needed spoons. Like, what are people supposed to eat? The fucking ice cream with their hand?
I know that's tough because you can't really replace a spoon with any other
well,
device.
and it's hard because like, you know, like restaurants, like the process of ordering that stuff, like sometimes takes like weeks to a month.
It does take a long time. Well, that's like goes back to when we were talking about like the RCA or what was it? NRA,
RCA.
National Restaurant Show, whatever. How there's like companies that sell dishware and glasses and silverware to restaurants, and like they definitely don't get that to you right away. It's not like you order it from Amazon.
No,
it's way cheaper to go through a company like that than it is to go to Amazon.
it just takes forever. It's so annoying.
There's so many restaurant outlet stores. Like, just go to a restaurant supply store.
I don't get it.
Drive the manager. Just drive your butt there, pick it up, come home.
Well, they're also like some restaurants are only budgeted to spend so much on that type of stuff. So if you keep fucking taking it, they can't. No, they can't buy.
Especially if it's like nice quality, like a nice restaurant.
So much it's expensive.
It's really. Oh my god, I've worked at places where like the plates are like $200 a pop.
I go look in my thing, and I probably have 1 or 2 forks from somewhere.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, I do actually.
Your roommate is also in the restaurant industry, so I bet she's stolen some cups and stuff.
No, we just
too.
have a couple ramekins.
Oh yeah, I love a ramekin.
I just put it in the to-go box.
Oh yeah, I definitely steal those all the time.
But I'm never running out of ramekins at work. I don't notice that.
Yeah. No, I mean you're not in the kitchen. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what
You're
they
not
got
pouring
going
the
on.
ranch into cups.
Yeah, I'm like, you guys out of rammies? Sorry.
we need more.
I'm not polishing those fuckers.
I don't know. Would you ever steal a roll of toilet paper from a restaurant if you were desperate?
I have.
Only if it's really nice toilet
I didn't
paper.
have any toilet paper.
You got 1 ply here right now. Maybe you just stole that.
Costco.
1 ply.
I don't know. It was kind of, yeah, I thought the same thing. Mama Kim got it.
She got 1 ply when I lived with you too. It's a lot of 1 ply.
I don't know why. That's kind of sad. But yeah, no, I have definitely ran out of toilet paper and stolen a roll from work. 100%.
Yeah. The only time I've ever done that is, I mean, I went to
nice
the
toilet
shared
paper.
bathroom in my apartment building. There's like a pool deck and stuff. So there was a bathroom next to it. So if I really needed toilet paper, instead of going to the store, I'd go steal one of those rolls, bring it home, and then I'd go get more the next day.
Well, it would suck if you have like the industrial size, like Kimberly Clark ones. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh my God. That'd be hilarious. I would
it's like
build.
the size of a fucking tire.
Imagine trying to put it on your like regular
I'm
toilet
like
paper
trying
roll.
to hide it. They're like, bro, what are you doing with that? I'm like,
You gotta round your arm.
I'm like, one of the other restaurants asked for it.
Yeah, we're doing a trade.
We only have one restaurant. Oh. Maybe I picked up the wrong phone call.
Yeah. Oh my God. Imagine getting fired because you stole toilet paper from your restaurant. That'd be so funny.
Oh, yeah, no, I've definitely stolen toilet paper.
That's
What
so
else
funny.
have I taken? Ramekins, a couple silverware here and there. No, I haven't really taken much, though. I do know the place I used to work at used to have silver trays, and a lot of employees would steal them because they would use them for cocaine.
What?
Yeah.
That's insane.
They were like, I guess, good cocaine trays or something. I don't fucking know.
Oh my God.
Between that and then also like guests trying to steal shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, How am I supposed to? I'm like, next thing you know, y'all are gonna be sitting at an empty ass table eating with your fucking hands with no napkin. I don't care. Figure it out. Wipe it on your clothes. Food's too hot. Wait for it to cool out before you use your hand. I don't know.
Oh my God.
Like, get into it. Here's your bib and a glove. That's all I can offer you. Figure it out.
In a glove. I worked with someone who used to use kitchen gloves to eat wings because it would keep her hands from getting dirty.
Honestly, that's a fucking great idea.
It's genius.
It looks stupid, but it's a good idea.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't do it sitting alone at the bar, but I'll do it in the back. Glug, glug. All right, well, I think that brings us to the end of our episode. We're approaching an hour, so it's time to go.
60 minutes.
Tick, tick, tick.
Who would have thought? I would have thought I was going to be on 60 minutes, but here I am.
Well, after what your life is one big 60 minutes. I can't wait to see you on a serial killer documentary one day.
Well,
you're going to trust the wrong man.
I ain't trusted nobody. I can't even trust my damn self lately, apparently.
Yeah, he's just getting into car accidents left and right.
It wasn't even my fault. As far as I know. But yeah, so thank you guys for tuning in to Industry Sunday.
Thank you. What's your shot of choice today?
I'm running out of fucking shots.
I'm going to do a pickleback. Have I said that one before?
Just a pickleback?
I ordered one when I was at the wedding.
Pickle juice?
No, a pickleback. It's a shot. It's JMO and pickle juice.
Oh.
But I ordered one at the wedding, and I think I just got a shot of pickle juice.
Yeah, because if somebody...
We all took it. I was like, that tasted only like pickle juice.
If somebody ordered a pickleback for me, I would literally just give them pickle juice. Like a whiskey and a pickleback. That's how it would work for me.
Oh.
I don't know.
Maybe I did just take a shot of pickle juice this weekend then. That's funny.
You're acting
That kept me going, though. That brought me back to life. That salt.
Yeah, it's good.
Was like...
pickle juice is great for a hangover. Electrolytes, huge in electrolytes, all that sodium. But
wait, really?
Ramps you back up, yeah.
Oh, true, because Pedialyte has a bunch of sodium in it. Is that what electrolytes are? Sodium?
Yeah, pretty much.
What the fuck?
So basically what it is alcohol is just an...
That's why I like McDonald's the next day?
Maybe. So that's different. So basically alcohol is just like a diuretic, so it flushes out a bunch of like vitamins and nutrients and sodium, so it dehydrates you.
Yeah.
So it flushes out all
Doesn't
that
sodium also dehydrate you, though?
No.
Or is it sodium nitrate? That's salt.
If sodium actually makes you retain water in your body.
So the salt, so salt is sodium plus something else. So salt is what dries you out.
No, salt is sodium. So like when you have a lot of salt, and your face gets puffy, it's water retention. So that's why the next day after drinking, you feel super skinny because you literally flush out all those nutrients in that water.
Oh, so drinking is good for you.
No. Until you eat or drink anything, and then you're instantly bloated because your body has a natural reaction to it.
Damn, I love salt. Do I have to give it up?
No. Just don't have more than 2,500 milligrams of sodium a day.
Probably am exceeding that.
And probably in one meal.
Have you seen my seasoning drawer? It's got a lot of shit in it.
I mean, like wings and stuff at like restaurants, like sometimes have like 2,000 milligrams of sodium.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, I'm definitely exceeding it.
Yeah, no. I mean, this is coming from when I used to be a bodybuilder. Anyways, we just got in a tangent.
Yeah, it's time to go.
Happy Industry Sunday. My shot of choice is anything that has a kiwi flavor to it, because I'm looking at kiwis.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think you have a tub of kiwis on your counter. Is that why?
Something kiwi flavored sounds fun, but it also sounds like a hangover.
Yeah, like strawberry, kiwi, whatever. All right, well, thank you guys so much. We'll see you back next week, and enjoy your Industry Sunday.
Stay safe, no car accidents, please.
Yeah, everyone pay for Jake. He's going to be in a dumpster next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.